Did you know some angels are so scary even demons are afraid of them? One of those angels is known as the Archangel of Death, and he's probably the most terrifying angel I've heard of. This angel refuses to show his true form, because just seeing him can drive demons and lower ranking angels to insanity, and will instantly end a human's life. But if he ever does show you his true form, you'll see that he's entirely covered in tongues and eyes, and the number of tongues and eyes on his body are constantly changing to reflect the number of people who are currently alive on Earth. He also has 4 faces and 4,000 wings. Being one of God's oldest angels that came into existence, this angel is the embodiment of death itself, collecting all souls of people who passed away and taking them to the afterlife. Follow for more.
Failed assassination attempt BT.1.
Could you stay with me while I sleep? Please.
Yeah, of course I'll stay with you. I'll stay with you forever.
What is the most irrefutable evidence that ghosts are real? That's exactly what this documentary, Sir No Face, claims to have. And I gotta say, they did a really thorough job of trying to discount it too. Sir No Face is a documentary about a Californian filmmaker with an interest in the paranormal teaming up with the #1 team of paranormal investigators in Australia to go on a ghost hunt to remember. Amidst their growing friendship, the leader of the group shares video footage of a full body apparition, and this sends the filmmaker down a deep, deep rabbit hole trying to prove that it's fake. If you can get past the ridiculous editing decisions and color correction, around the 30-minute mark, it starts to get pretty darn compelling. To the point where I'm actually starting to believe that there's a ghost on camera. I know, but you just gotta see this thing. It's beyond freaky, but you know, at the end of the day, it's in a tiny little documentary I never heard of until a fellow TikToker suggested it. But now this just might be my go-to when people ask me,
Did you hear about the partial foot that they found in Yellowstone last week? No? Well, I will tell you about it. And I'll tell you why it's so hard to find bodies in this beautiful place. First, I have to tell you about what Yellowstone is. So, essentially, these beautiful geysers and these hot ponds exist because Yellowstone is a giant active volcano. And these beautiful steaming ponds are so lovely colored because of archaebacteria that live in the extreme environment, and it can be upwards of 200 degrees Fahrenheit. And I'll remind you that the boiling point of water is 212 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, yes, Yellowstone does have other dangers, like bears. Of the 200 some bodies that have been identified and confirmed dead in Yellowstone, most of those have had to do with the water. And what makes the water so dangerous? Well, they have these walkways where you can safely walk across the boiling ponds, but many guests decide to move on and walk away from them, not knowing that the sheets of dirt are very thin and they can fall right in. And once they do, they literally disintegrate. Because of the minerals that have dissolved into the volcanic waters, the waters are either extremely alkaline or extremely acidic enough to dissolve your body. So if you imagine falling off that little walkway, which has happened, the body will immediately disintegrate in the boiling acidic water. There have been numerous high-profile deaths in Yellowstone, but one of the most publicized was David Allen Kerwin. In 1981, he went to Yellowstone with his dog, and his dog jumped out of the car and ran towards a pond, thinking it was a nice pond to play in. However, when the dog jumped in, he immediately heard the yelps and jumped in after his dog in an attempt to save him. Unfortunately, David sustained third-degree burns to most of his body, and while he did make it to a hospital, his last words were, "That was dumb." So,
She thought she was alone. So Casey Rodriguez went solo camping over the summer in Appalachia. She had just broken up with her longtime boyfriend and wanted some time alone. Casey had picked a really remote area to set up her tent in and reportedly didn't see a single other person the entire time she was camping. Though at night she claimed there was a strange rustling noise coming from outside her tent, but she just chalked it up to local wildlife. So when she gets home, she gives her dad her vintage camera and asks him to develop the photos for her. And this part gave me chills. Casey's dad calls her and asks if she met anyone while she was out camping. And Casey's like, no, it was just me. But then he asks her again and says it's fine if she met someone out there, but he just needs her to be honest with him. And again, Casey's like, Dad, no, I would tell you if I met someone out there. I was by myself the whole time. This was one of the photos that Casey's father developed. A photo of Casey asleep in her tent, taken on her own camera.
So bro, do you know that in Penang, hidden in an oil palm estate in Nibong, Tebao, there is a mansion with 99 doors, which is one of Malaysia's most haunted place. This grand mansion, which was once known as the Caledonia House, has 99 doors without 99 rooms. So it means like it's multiple doors that actually lead to one room. This mansion is said to have been built in 1916 and was owned by a wealthy British family, the Ramsdens. So in 1948, a tragedy occurred when one of the family members, John St. Maur Ramsden, was mysteriously murdered at the mansion. It was said that he was shot twice in the back of his head as he walked up the mansion's main staircase. Rumors claim, right, that he was killed by a competitor, while his family believes that he was murdered by communist guerrillas.
Communist gorillas?
Gorillas. You find me a gorilla in the zoo that wears a red star cap and says for the motherland. I'm starting to suspect you're the communist gorilla.
You are a gorilla, look at you.
Okay, so after the murder, a few suspects were arrested and put on trial, but the case still remains unsolved until today. So yeah, the house was then abandoned. However, in 1960s, a Bomo practiced his dark arts there and opened the 100th door. This door was opened to contact the dead. And on 26 July 2020, the mansion also mysteriously caught fire, damaging about 70% of the building. So firemen were dispatched to put it out and it was under investigation. But until today, no one is certain how it could have caught on fire for no reason. So legend has it, as the clock strikes 12 AM each night, the special 100th door appears and opens, acting as a portal to the other side and allegedly allows dark, evil spirits to enter our dimension. So other paranormal activities include hearing sounds of ritual drums beating in and around the mansion and being scratched by unseen entities. Some also report to have heard growling and screaming noises and even experienced possessions.
Lord, like, what are these people doing in the middle of the night in a famous haunted house?
I mean, that's what they do. They want to go and have the fun.
But I mean, if anything else happens, then you answer.
That's why they kena
Enter
what?
the door. Who kena?
Them ah.
The communist gorillas.
But then they